Hello, everyone. Hi, how are you guys doing? Welcome back to another episode of a Doctor Who reaction. This is not live. My name is Matt. Yeah, Series 11, Episode 3. Let's go. So, okay, before we begin, I want to say that this is the first episode that I am recording after Episode 1 went live. So, Episode 1 went live like yesterday? Yeah, yesterday. On YouTube. Patreon has number 2 by now. But yes, YouTube people have shown up for episode 1. And I want to say the reception for that episode was way more positive than what I was expecting, which was good. It was a nice surprise. Um, and yeah, I just want to address the fact that, so my impression of Series 11, from before starting it, was that the overall reception that people have had of it was negative, at least in the majority. And I still think that that's kind of the case. But what I was not accounting for is that there are people that genuinely love it, and those people are probably going to show up the moment I start watching it, you know? People are going to see a thumbnail of a dude watching Series 11 Doctor Who, and they're going to go like, hey, I'm going to go check that out. And they showed up, and as a result, a lot of people on episode 1 commented saying like, I actually really enjoyed the season, or I don't know what people are talking about, or even if those people talk shit, because a lot of people do, fuck it, you know, like I enjoyed it, and great, like I'm happy, and I do want to say right away that if you enjoy Series 11, that's fantastic. Like I'm actually glad that people are showing up saying good things about Series 11, because I have literally not heard anyone say a single good thing about that for a year. Okay? For the entire Fear Capaldi run that I did that took over a year, nobody has said anything positive about it. So, I'm glad that a lot of people are showing up saying like, hey, I enjoyed it. And I'm like, good. Um, and I explained this on like a comment reply, but it's like, the reason why I acknowledge the fact that a lot of people have been talking much shit about it is because I want to give people some merit to what they are saying, because I think that ignoring what everyone says is also kind of a dumb thing to do. You know, just not listening to people. It's like, no, I'm going to listen to what people say. However, I'm also going to be watching this and approaching this in my own manner. You know, whatever anyone says is not really going to affect what my approach or thoughts or whatever of the system is going to be, or anything for that matter. So, yes, if you don't like Series 11, fine. If you do like Series 11, great. You know, like, that's it. Like, it's not too difficult to understand that. Like, there are going to be people that don't enjoy it, and there are going to be people that do. And those people are having objectively more fun than the people that don't. So I hope that everyone enjoyed it, but I know that that's not the case. However, it seems that Series 12 is probably doing things a little better from what I hear. Series 12 is actually picking back up. Well, at least the general consensus is what I'm talking about. So, yeah. Yeah, I just wanted to address that. I just wanted to say that because I feel like now that I've seen the reaction to episode 1 of Series 11, I feel a lot better, because it's just a lot of people have just been being positive about it. And I was afraid that everyone was going to be negative about it. And given there have been some negative comments, people saying like, oh, awful Chibnall writing time, whatever. And I'm just sitting here like, fine, you know, like, I don't know. I'm just here, episode 2, now 3. I don't know what I'm in for, so I can't actually say anything. But I also think it's kind of mean to just talk mad shit on things, so I just don't do that at all. But yeah, I'm just gonna watch this, and we'll see what happens. And I'm probably not gonna address this topic anymore. You know, the fact that, oh, people like it, people don't like it, fuck it. You know, like, at this point that I see that there are people that actively enjoy Series 11 and are vocal about it, I'm like, good, good. All right, move on. You know, like, if you don't like it, then maybe shut up about it. Like, don't leave comments saying like, oh, this sucked or whatever. You can. I'm not going to police you over that. But I think life is more fun if you just enjoy things and don't let things that are not enjoyable to you rule over you, you know, just like shut up, move on with your life. But whatever, you do you. Okay. I'm just gonna move over from that topic, and and I think there's a general consensus that there's like one or two bad episodes that are bad, just generally considered bad, and I'm like, okay, that is more understandable because we've seen seasons that had like one bad episode that everyone looks at it and it's like, what? In the Force of the Night with Series 8, like we all saw that one and we all went like, yeah, what was that? You know, fucking Love and Monsters, going all the way back. Love and Monsters, what the fuck, right? I think that was like fan submitted by like a kid or something, so that makes more sense. But there are episodes that people consider what the fuck were they thinking. So there might be one of those episodes in here. I don't know. I'm just gonna go and watch it, man. Like that's it. Okay, so what happened last episode? We were finding the ghost monument. Yeah, that's what it was. The ghost monument turned out to be the tortoise. Okay, so that episode was a little bit. Who cares? You know, like the story wasn't that impressive. It was just like we're traveling in this like Daga Rally kind of thing, but it's space. You know, um, and there you go. That was the end of that. Like there wasn't too much about it. There were like robot that were the remaining of this civilization that got extinct by the Stanza, which were the dudes from episode 1. Well, there was one dude in episode 1, Tim Shaw, but like his entire race kind of wiped them out. That was it. And then at the end, we got to the Ghost Monument, which turned out to be the TARDIS, and the TARDIS showed up, and we have a new TARDIS, everyone. Beehive TARDIS. That's the TARDIS we got. Beehive TARDIS. I enjoy Beehive TARDIS, actually. It's probably not the best one, but it's pretty okay. Like, I feel like we got a lot of, like, blue in the TARDIS for a while. And now we're going back to yellow. Because, like, Eccleston Tennant's TARDIS was yellow. It was, like, grunge face. That's how they refer to it in Day of the Doctor. It's like, that's fine. Like, I'm glad we're going back to yellow. I feel like maybe we could go back to a different color. What color could we do? Like, we can do, like, a red TARDIS, maybe? Or, like, red, pink, whatever. But, like, the idea of red is that it's usually, like, it's, like, connected to, like, oh, evil or whatever. In fact, I think that Paradox machine that the Master made in season 3, it was the TARDIS, but it was red, you know? Like, so that was it. But, like, I could go for a red TARDIS. Or, like, a chill TARDIS, like the one the 8-7 Doctor had in the movie. That was fucking great, by the way. Go and watch that reaction if you haven't seen the movie reaction. Fucking, the movie's great. I love that movie more than I love several episodes of the show. But, okay. Beehive TARDIS, we're traveling. She has told Ryan, Graham, and Yas that this is also a time machine. So they were like, yo, and now maybe we'll time travel. That's it. Also, the TARDIS can give you cookies now. That TARDIS is fucking great, by the way. It's fucking great. Okay. I think we're done. I think we're done with this recap of previous episode. Not much happened, so whatever. Yeah, I think we can just start. So, Doctor Who, Series 11, Episode 3. Let's go! I forgot that we had a shit intro. Now, I mean, I hate this intro because it's really good, but it's also not. Like, the font is really good, the effects they're using is really good, everything is super good looking, but it just ends. Rosa. Montgomery, Alabama, 1943. I might know what this is.
You don't go that way. That way's not for colors.
Go around the back and get on there. That's your entrance. You know that.
I don't see the need for getting off being back on that, not when there's folks standing in the stairwell. You better not hit me.
Get out that door!
Hey! Hey, hold on!
Alright. So the race episode. This might be uncomfortable. 12 years later. 55. Wait.
Nearly. Sheffield? Almost. Really close.
Not close at all.
United States. 1955, Montgomery, Alabama. If I'm reading this properly.
Civil rights movement from 1955. Fuck me. Alright. So this is the civil rights movement episode. Drop this. Oh fuck me. Yeah. I immediately knew what was gonna happen.
Get those filthy black hands off my wife.
I was just trying to give her back her groove. This is your boy.
It's my grandson, actually.
Your what?
My grandson.
You ain't from around here.
We don't want any trouble.
Your boy. He'll be swinging from a tree with a noose for a neckerchief if he touches a white woman in Montgomery.
Is that a problem here, Mr. Steele? Step away now. Go ahead, step away.
This episode is gonna be really uncomfortable one way. I hope this guy dies.
You crazy.
He slapped me.
Did you read the newspapers? You know what they did to young Emmett Till?
We're from out of town.
So was Emmett Till. You want that to be you?
No.
Did your mother raise you with no manners? I will take a no, ma'am.
No, Mom.
Mrs. Parks, Rosa Parks.
No way.
You're kidding.
Brilliant. Rosa Parks. Lovely to meet you, Rosa Parks. Big fan.
Excuse me?
Actual Rosa Parks. Amazing.
I mean, I'm not happy about this situation. There's some alien shit going on with Rosa Parks, okay? He had some alien shit too. What?
She's the boss woman, right?
You do remember what she did?
Yeah. First black woman to ever drive a bus.
No.
No, close.
Your nan would have a fit right now. How could you have been in a class named after the woman and not know who she is?
She's American.
She refused to give up a seat on a segregated bus to a white passenger and got arrested for it. Her arrest started a boycott of the buses in Montgomery.
Or rather, will start. Today is Wednesday, November 30th, 1955. Tomorrow, Rosa refuses to give up her seat.
And all this basically kicked off the US civil rights movement led by Martin Luther King. See, I'm not totally ignorant. I just got confused by the whole bus thing.
It's gone very quiet in here.
We don't serve Negroes.
Good. Because I don't eat them.
Oh, Mexicans. She talking to me? Y'all need to eat somewhere else.
Come on.
Just a very uncomfortable episode.
You can walk away from this.
Rosa Parks can't.
Rosa Parks doesn't.
If she can live here her whole life, a couple of hours ain't gonna kill me.
I can see this episode being very difficult to write.
I knew it.
Alien tech?
See, now there's a problem. We're not the only ones in Montgomery who don't belong here.
Straight up gun. Alright, you got away. What the fuck's the deal with this guy?
It's better than a vortex manipulator, like the one on your wrist. Cheap and nasty time travel.
What are you doing?
Come on, gang.
What do we actually know?
Well, 1955, Montgomery, one day away from Rosa Parks refusing to give her seat up on a bus.
Meanwhile, we've got an out-of-time imposter skulking at the bus works with a temporal displacement weapon.
I understand weapon, but not sure about temporal displacement.
Displaces you through time. A blast hits you, you're thrown through time to wherever the user has set it. If he wanted to get rid of her, why has he not done it already? What do you remember about Rosa from school?
Oh, whoa, what are you doing? That is vandalism. We'll have to pay for that.
Don't worry, special pen.
No, pack it in. You ain't Banksy.
Or am I?
That's good. You'll never know.
Bathroom.
Seriously.
Very seriously.
Banksy doesn't have one of those.
Or does he?
Or have I?
British,
How can you tell?
you've been making folks uneasy. You happen to know a couple of mongrels? Hmm? Negro boy? Mexican girl?
I don't recognize anyone by that description.
Negro's been going around picking fights with upstanding citizens. You appreciate it's an offense to harbor colors in a room here.
We're not harboring anyone who doesn't have a right to be here.
Yeah, they're not here. They're smart enough to listen to that and get away.
I'm sick of this place already.
I was sick the moment we got here, dude.
I could have slapped that guy back there as soon as we arrived. Thank God Manan taught me how to keep my temper. Never give them the excuse.
Yeah. My dad tells me the same.
It's not like Rosa Parks wipes out racism from the world forever. Otherwise, how come I get stopped way more by the police than my white mates?
Oi, not this police.
Tell me you don't get hassle.
Of course I do. Especially on the job. I get called a packy when I'm sorting out a domestic or a terrorist on the way home from the mosque.
Yeah, exactly.
But they don't win, those people. I can be a police officer now because people like Rosa Parks fought those battles for me. For us. And in 53 years, I'll have a black president as leader. Who knows where they'll be 50 years after that? But that's proper change.
Were you born this positive?
Guess so. Must be my Mexican blood.
The name of the driver she refused.
I know that. It's James Blake.
How'd you know that?
Well, your nan, when she found out I was a bus driver, said to me, "You better not be like James Blake. Blake the Snake." That's what she called him. She had a T-shirt that said, Spirit of Rosa. And, well, I wish that she was here.
We all do. Grandma was awesome. I like that we keep mentioning Grandma. I mean, I don't want her to be right here, but...
You shouldn't have to do this.
I agree. I'm sorry, Ryan. The driver let me on at the front of the bus. What does that mean for where I sit? Obviously not a lot of Pakistani heritage around here. Does colour just mean black in 1955? Guess I'll park my South Asian Mexican backside in the white section then and let's see what happens. Good times.
You get this bus this time every day.
Most days. Always this time.
And you live...
Oh, Cleveland Court, next stop. Ma'am, if you keep sitting there, we're all going to have to move.
I'm gonna follow her. See what I can find out. Meet you back at the motel later.
Ryan,
Be careful.
be careful.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll just have a talk with the bloke at the front and find out where they all drink.
You look suspicious as shit, dude. Of course she knows. She saw it.
Following me.
I mean, he was.
With what?
The fight?
You any good at saving coffee?
Having coffee with Rosa Parks.
Escape or release.
I did my time.
And it was nasty enough that Stormcage placed a neural restrictor in your brain before releasing you back into the universe. You've obviously got a problem with Rosa. Why don't you just kill her? But the answer is, because you can't. Neural restrictor means you can't kill or injure any living thing. It stops you from doing it, no matter how much you want to try.
This is my husband, Parks. This is Mr. Fred Gray. And this is Dr. King from Dexter Avenue Baptist Church.
What? Martin Luther King? That's correct. Oh my days. Manan loves you.
She attend Dexter Avenue.
No, she died recently.
I'm sorry for your loss, son.
Thank you. Thank you, Martin Luther King. She'd be chuffed to know that you said that.
Ryan.
Excuse me, Dr. King. Yes, Rosa Parks?
Right? That moment. That one moment of like, thank you, Mr. King. Yes, Rosa Parks. Right?
Back at it tomorrow, I suppose?
Nope. Going fishing at Mill Creek.
I didn't know what I wanted. But yeah. Meeting you guys. Listening to you all talk, I can't believe it.
It would be nice to actually hear them
Better, you know.
talk, but
Not perfect, but
better.
better.
I hope so.
Thank you. For me and Manan.
I haven't done anything.
That's very sincere. You will, Rosa. You will.
Your mate is interfering. He's reassigned Blake's route to a driver called Elias Griffin Jr.
Tiny actions. That's what Crosco's doing. You are the lucky winner of our raffle of the century.
I don't remember entering no raffle.
You have won an all-expenses-paid trip to Las Vegas. Front row tickets to see Frank Sinatra and a VIP pass to meet Frank himself.
My wife loves Sinatra.
Why? Well, we thought we'd come and join you. You saying last night how beautiful
But
and peaceful it was, yeah.
It's gonna be a
This is my
blood.
grandson, Ryan.
Yeah, right.
Jimmy Blake. What's up, blood?
You can't be here.
We heard that a group of black passengers were planning a sit-in across all the bus routes tonight. Yeah?
Not on my bus, they're not. He was easy. Boom. Don't do that.
Come on.
That is one nasty tear.
Yes, it is. And there is nothing us Brits hate more than a clothing emergency.
I like Jodie's shirt quite a bit.
Get Rosa out of here by 5:40
Nice.
at the latest to be on that bus on time.
We get to see coatless Jodie for a bit. That's nice. I do like her shirt. It has a nice shade of red. Oh, fuck.
Well, I can't drive that.
Oh, no, you go on home. Yeah, we'll cancel the route.
This motherfucker.
Tell the waiting passengers that the bus is coming and they have to wait.
Okay.
Do not let any of the passengers walk. The bus has to be full. It has to be crowded enough so that Rosa is expected to move.
What in the hell?
This is your replacement bus service.
Jim boy.
You again?
Oh, no, I literally get everywhere now. Come on, hop in and do your job.
You're already 80 minutes behind schedule.
How do you know that? What's going on? What happened to that damn sit-in? Nobody else knew anything about it.
I'd love to explain all that to you, but you know us Brits, very imperious. Not prone on explaining ourselves to anyone, so no time to chat, just get driving. A lot of people need to get on this bus tonight.
Why would he just accept that?
I dreamed of being a teacher, but my grandmother got sick, then my mother, so that was the end of school.
Sorry about that.
Oh, I got myself educated, just took longer than I thought.
But you kept going.
Always. And education makes you unstoppable.
Everything here is a fight for you. Don't you get tired? What keeps you going?
Promise it tomorrow? When today isn't waking, tomorrow is what you have. You married, got a job back home?
Not married, and I'm a police officer.
Yo, police?
Yep.
Damn.
Just starting.
The Brits really got it going.
Where is it you want to be?
In charge.
Amen to that.
Yeah, the go is actually taking a long time.
The buses are coming, I promise. Please, just wait for the bus.
They're not gonna listen
Don't
to
tell me what to do, boy.
I might have known Pretty Boy blocking the road. Right?
Oh.
I know what should happen. And even if it gets past here, that bus is at least 3 passengers short of what it should be by now.
Trip passengers sure, just say.
Why don't you stay there? Oh, it worked.
We teleported him away, or
Mrs.
like
Parks,
displacement.
Oh, thank you, Mrs. Parks. Beautiful work. Much appreciated.
He's gone.
Use the door for colors.
Yep. We're all just gonna be here.
We can go. Job done. History's safe.
No, we stay. We gotta stay, right?
There's enough empty seats for white passengers. Rosa won't be asked to move. We have to stay on.
Does Graham need to be the one asking?
We're part of the story. Part of history.
I don't want to be part of this.
We have to. I'm sorry.
Y'all better make it light on yourselves and let me have those seats.
Okay. Yeah, we're gonna stay. And this guy is about to bust a vein because of everything that's been happening at this point.
Stand up now.
I don't think I should have to.
Are you going to stand up?
No.
If you don't stand, I'm gonna have you arrested.
You may do that.
So we gon' walk it out.
Okay.
day the boycotts begin. On the 21st of December 1956, segregation on buses in Montgomery was ended.
So it all worked out for her.
No, life's still hard for Rosa. She loses her job, so does her husband. It's a struggle. They keep fighting. And in June 1999, Rosa receives the Congressional Medal from President Clinton, the highest award given to any civilian, recognizing her as a living icon for freedom.
It took so long, though. Her whole life.
Yes, it did. But she changed the world. Asteroid 284996, also known as Rosa Parks.
Okay, there we go. First things first. Asteroid 284996. It's real. Or not? Yeah, it's real. It's totally real. 284996 Rosa Parks. It's all a single word. In popular media, a depiction of the asteroid appeared in television during the UK's Black History Month. Oh! That's when it aired. In October 2018 episode of the series Doctor Who. In the final scene of the episode, Rosa, the witness in Rosa's part of arrest for refusing to give up her seat in Montgomery, Alabama. Passenger bus, the 13th Doctor takes the daughters to the asteroid belt and shows the asteroid to her companions, revealing to them its name. So this episode came out in the Black History Month. I didn't know that. That's pretty nice. That's pretty nice. That was an episode. I tell you what. Okay. That was an episode. Talking about this is difficult and weird, and I kinda don't want to, but I have to. Okay, in terms of episode on the season, that was the best one yet. For sure, that was the best one of the three we have had. I think it's a really good episode. Simultaneously, this episode did not make me feel joy in any capacity. It only made me feel very awkward and sad. But there were, like, the general message that the episode gave you is that these people fought for you and for your future by getting their future taken away from them in a way. Like they said it at the end. Like Rosa Parks, like she got taken by the police, then she lost her job, her husband lost her job, just like her entire life was fucked as a result of what she did. But we have a better future because of her. So it's one of those things where it's like bittersweet, because it's like, yes, we're in a better place, but you have to remember that this happened and this is someone's life and this is how this person's life went as a result of their actions, that now we have a better future. We live in a better future because of it. But someone had to pay the price. A lot of people had to pay the price in the process, by the way. It wasn't only her. But Jesus, like, this episode had a lot of moments that made me feel like shit. And they felt really raw. And that's why they felt so real. There is many words that I cannot say that have been said in this episode. But there were a lot of moments where I literally just couldn't look at the screen because I was like, Jesus Christ. Where do I even begin? I feel defeated. That's what I feel about this episode. And it wasn't even an entirely sad episode. It was bittersweet, because the end message of the episode is like, we have a better future as a result. But you do feel like shit because they made sure you felt like shit, This episode in a way tests your empathy or sympathy, I guess. And it's like, all right, is there an easy way to talk about this episode without addressing anything? All right, fuck it. You know, like, I'm the kind of person that I just kind of say whatever's on my mind, and I kind of don't give a shit. So I'm probably just gonna do that. So there you go. But like, I've heard people refer to this show, to this season specifically, as like it's like trying too hard to be woke trademark. You know, the little trademark you may at the end of words for meme purposes. That I've heard people complain about that. Here's the thing though. Most people that complain about that shit are assholes. So, not a personal judgment to you if you're watching this and you feel affected by it, because I don't know you personally. But I will immediately judge you more if you're one of those people that complains about what this episode's theme, setting, and message and execution. Because this episode ultimately was really good. And a lot of people are gonna complain about like this episode is trying too hard to touch on themes that have been fixed, that have been solved, and it's like, no, the only way to approach these topics are by just pretending that they don't exist, so then it normalizes whatever. It's like, no, because if we do that, if we forget that it's a thing. That's kind of the reason why you think it's not a thing, but it is. It's still a thing. In the year of our Lord 2020, we still have to deal with this shit. We might be at a cusp with another fucking war. A huge one. Because of that orange bastard being a piece of shit. A racial piece of shit. Fuck that guy. I don't care, by the way. Like, this is the episode where I don't care, and I'm just gonna talk mad shit on things. So, oh boy, this is gonna be a difficult one, huh? But, alright. Okay. I felt bad watching this episode. Like, I felt guilty for being white, despite not being white, if that makes any sense. That's a confusing part. I don't know what my race is. Because I'm Latin American, I'm Argentinian, so I guess I'm Latino, but also I'm descendant of white people. But there might be some black far away, I'm not sure. But like, the thing about Argentina, and I guess many places in Latin America, is that there's a lot of like mixed blood from European people that came from, I think, World War II, I mean, maybe even before that. And then they just mix with the locals. And this is kind of what you get, right? So mestizo, let's just say Latino. I still feel guilty, by the way, because it's one of those things where, like, I'm looking at Jodie sitting in the wrong spot, and I'm like, Jodie, you're not supposed to sit there. And then Rosa told her, and I'm like, yeah, Jodie, like, and I could feel it in the 13 Doctors and Graham, when they were like, they felt guilty. They felt the same way I felt, you know, in a way, because it's like, you're sitting there and it's like, this is not my fight. I kind of wish it was, because I want to fight for this. And you totally can. But I kind of want to go punch that guy bus drivers in the face. And they probably would have, if enough were for the case that that had to happen, you know? But it's one of those things where it's like, I don't know, man. I don't know where to go with this. Like, this episode just puts you in the hot spot, doesn't it? Because it's difficult to... Okay, so it's difficult to talk around whatever the fuck this episode is doing. So I'm not even talking around it. I'm just addressing it right on. Dude, like, it's a very good historical episode. It's a very good Okay, let's just talk about the episode now. Like, I feel like talking about the theme is really difficult. I don't even know what to say. I think I addressed the most important parts about what it meant, how it felt, and what the purpose of it was, what the message was, which is just acknowledgement of like, this person lived, this was the struggle, this is what the person had to give up on in order for you to have a better future. So you denying the meaning and how important that was is probably the worst thing you can do. Essentially. Just pretending that wasn't that bad, that wasn't that big of a deal, or that this, like, display of it is like pandering or whatever. Just get the fuck out of my face. That's it. That's all I'm gonna say in that matter. But regarding the episode itself, I think it's one of the best ones we've had when we went back to the past and we just hung out with, like, I mean, we don't hang out with many historical figures, I don't think. Like, we met Charles Dickens, we met Van Gogh. Van Gogh was probably like the best, like, historical figure episode we've had. I don't know how many historical figure episodes we've had, actually. I wanna Google that. Okay, Charles Dickens, Agatha Christie, Shakespeare. Oh yeah, I forgot about Shakespeare. Adolf Hitler. Yeah, Hitler showed up. I forgot about Hitler showing up, and he was a punchline. What the fuck? Winston Churchill. Yeah, I forgot. Lucius Caesius Lucundus. That was Peter. Was he a real person? I didn't know that. I didn't know that Lucius was a real person. Wow, that's crazy. Van Gogh, Queen Victoria, Madame de Pompadour, Nixon. Okay, never mind that, what I was looking at. Okay. So, back to Rosa Parks. Having just read that list of, like, historical figures, this might be one of the best ones, if not the best one. The best episode with that historical figure we've had. The best one might be Van Gogh. Like, fucking, what's the name of that episode? Vincent and the Doctor, yeah. So, Vincent and the Doctor might still be the best historical figure one because it was so emotive, and it tackled on, like, mental health in a way, and it was just really good and sad and bittersweet, and just like it was fantastic. I love Vincent and the Doctor. I feel like we all do. It's probably the best episode Matt Smith was in. Like, honestly, the 11th Doctor episode that it's the best one might be that one. I don't know, it's subjective, but that one is just fantastic. But this one, Rosa, might be, it's either the best one too, or just second place, just like really close to it. I don't think that, like, the Shakespeare episode was better, the Charles Dickens episode was better, like, fucking any episode where a classic, like, okay, Madame de Pompadour, Girl in the Fireplace, that was actually really good too. Those are probably the three best ones. But I think Rose is better than Girl in the Fireplace, and I'm not sure about Vincent and the Doctor. I'm gonna actually let it sit in for a while, then I'll get back to that conclusion, but Vincent might still be better. But fuck it. Fuck comparisons. I don't like comparing things, even though I might do that a lot. But Rosa, this episode was fucking great because it succeeded amazingly at what it was doing, which is giving you a very emotive, clear understanding of the situation while paying respects and honoring it, while also being a history lesson. You know, it's a really good history lesson, but it's a very good history lesson because it's showing you everything that you need to know and you should probably keep in mind and not ignore. And then like, also giving you, well, the story is not that amazing or whatever, in the sense that, like, the conflict, you know, like, the fucking guy that is just this like guy from the future who's just like, this was where everything went wrong and the black started getting right, whatever. That guy, fuck that guy. And yeah, they just disposed of him, no problem. Like Ryan just teleported him away and that was it. It's gone. It doesn't matter anymore. And it's like, great, there we go. But the entire setting of like, this is Rosa Parks and this is the fucking asshole bus driver. We gotta make sure that this happens. And then at the end, it becomes a matter of like, oh, we actually need to be here. We need to be part of the passengers that Rosa refused to give a seat to. Graham had to be the passenger that Rosa refused to give a seat to. He and like, I think someone else that was coming in, given Graham wasn't the one that told Rosa like, hey, give me the seat, which is where I thought it was going for a second and I got really worried. But no, it was just the bus driver saying like, fucking stand up, and then he got real upset and whatever, so fuck that guy. Yeah, antagonize him. And Rosa is just like, it's we even saw MLK for like a second, you know, like we saw historical figures in there at Rosa's house and they were just having a meetup. I would have loved to see the meetup, I think, but I also think that, okay, who wrote this episode? It was Chibnall and someone else. I don't remember the name of the other person. It was written by Mallory Blackman. All right, there we go. They got a black woman to write this. That's good. Her critical and popularity acclaim Nuts and Crosses series uses the setting of a fictional dystopia to explore racism. Okay, so she knows a lot about this from first-hand perspective as well as writing perspective. That's good. That's good that they brought her to write, because I was about to say, you can't really write that scene, or I guess this episode in general, without having the perspective. Like, Chibnall couldn't have written this shit. Chibnall couldn't. And I'm not talking about his quality of writing or whatever. I mean, he's not the right person to do it. You have to get the right person to write this. And they got her. And that was good. I'm glad. So, I mean, Chibnall helped, of course, but it wasn't him, you know? It was him and this woman. Melanie? I need to remember her name. It's gonna be bad if I don't. Mallory. All right, Mallory. It's a weird name for me, but I'll remember it. Mallory Blackman. All right, so okay, this episode is just the best one so far. I think it's gonna be difficult to top in this series because this episode is one of the best ones we've had in a while. I mean, I say in a while, but the entire series 10 finale was just amazing, you know. But it's one of those things where it's like, this episode alone is better than half of series 10. It's better than a couple of series 9. It's better than maybe all of series 8, you know? Definitely better than like all of series 7 and 6 combined, because like 6 and 7 I'm not a big fan of. There are a couple of good episodes in there, but like, this episode is not only good right now, it's just good overall. It's just one of those that I'm gonna look back at Joey's run and I'm gonna be like, oh, Rosa, that is one of the memorable ones. You know, when you make a list of like which are some of the best episodes that this Doctor had, Rosa's one for Jodie. I mean, this is without knowing what's coming. Maybe series 12 is gonna bring in some bangers too. Maybe even 13. I don't know how long Jodie's gonna go on for, but Rosa. So I think that it's a really good episode. It's probably gonna be one of those that you're gonna look back and you're gonna be like, oh yeah, that was one of the really good ones. Like, I think this episode was really solid. Really solid. And like, the thing about it is that it's like, it's not a fun episode. It's not fun. And that's weird to me, because the reason why I watch the show for the most part is to have fun and enjoy myself, because I think Doctor Who is a fun show at its core, you know? It's just having adventures and solving problems and telling stories, all that stuff. So I think it's mostly about just those things and enjoying and having fun. That's what the Doctor is usually, like a goofy character, you know? I enjoy that. This episode was not that. This episode was meaningful, is what it was. That's a word. And for being a meaningful episode, it's a really good one. So it's bad at being fun, because it's not, but it's not trying to be. It's trying to be meaningful. And at that, it's exceedingly succeeding. Is that correct? I don't know what I said. It's just really good. It's just really good, dude. I enjoy the actress that got to be Rosa. She did really well, I think. Dude, fucking, I keep thinking back to when it's immediately in your face and super raw, when Ryan is just walking with the rest of the gang, and he sees this woman just drop her, like, handkerchief or something, or just drop, I don't know what it was, and he was like, "Hey, miss, you dropped it," and then the guy immediately just slaps him in the face and goes like, "Get your fucking hands off this." I didn't remember what he said. It was bad. A lot of people said really bad things this fucking episode. It was terrible. And it just hits you like a truck, you know? And it's supposed to. Because it's real. Like, that's real. That's what it feels like. And it's like, fuck you, you know? Fuck you, I wish you die. I wish that one asshole at the beginning just gets hit by lightning and dies. I hope historically that's what happened to him. I mean, though he wasn't a real person. But, you know, that. And then when they were at the restaurant and everyone went quiet, and then the fucking barista or whatever, she said that thing that she said, I was just like, fuck. Like, this episode is not pulling any punches. Any. It's just going as raw as it can possibly be. And it works because by being that raw, that's what gives it this flavor of realism, you know? Given it's Doctor Who, so it's not a documentary, so it's not gonna be real. We have to deal with some fucking asshole from the future or whatever. But also, it gives it the flavor of, like, this happened, this is how it was, to some degree, this is still how it is. Fucking acknowledge this reality and work to be better, work to make the future a better place. That's it. And respect the people that already have and died in the process, you know? Because Rosa Parks did see a major change over her lifetime, but it hasn't been solved, man, and it won't be solved for a while, probably. It's like, fuck. It feels terrible. That's what it does. Okay, now I'm thinking back to, like, fucking anyone watching this might be really uncomfortable right now. Trust me, I'm uncomfortable too. I don't know if you made it to this point of the, like, review or whatever, but, like, it's one of those things where it's like there are not groups in this, like, okay, how do I talking about everything about this is really complicated, but there's not just, like, the good guys and the bad guys. Like, that's not how the real world works. Every person is their own individual, and they also have their own individual thoughts and all that stuff. They can, however, be heavily influenced by the things that they hear, the things that they do, the things that they consume, the things that they read, everything. You can definitely be influenced by that. I feel most people are. And what it ends up leading is that you're gonna have a bunch of people out there today that are gonna be assholes about everything that is like this episode, because they don't think it's right for a TV show to take a political stance or whatever, despite every single piece of media you've consumed in your entire life having had a political stance. Not necessarily a political one, but what they do have are ideals, which are not political stances, are just, this is what I believe in. And what I believe in is that woman could sit anywhere she wants in that bus. That's a pretty basic belief, that she can just sit wherever she fucking wants. And I also think it's important to bring that up every now and then so people can remember, respect that, and not make mistakes that end up undoing such thing. And I understand that you, as a white guy watching this, or white whatever, you might think, well, I don't like my sci-fi show becoming this thing that I don't have fun with because it's tackling into things that it's pandering. Whatever the fuck you want to say. It's one of those things that, like, dude, shut up. Shut up. You probably didn't get what this was about. Because probably you just didn't want to hear what it was about. Because you probably don't want to hear the world around you. When you start doing so, when you start, like, respecting everyone and actually opening your mind and ears and eyes and whatever, and trying to understand what's actually going on and how people are doing overall, that's when you might actually start being like, oh, maybe it's right for this episode to be here. You know, maybe it's a good thing that this episode existed, you know? And maybe if you start, like, talking shit on this episode for not being your dumb fighting aliens episode and instead deciding to be a historical episode about racism, maybe you're a bit of an asshole. Because maybe you have your values in the completely different spot. That's all I'm gonna say. And, like, this is one of those things where it's like, I really don't want to come as if I'm judging 81 individually, because first of all, I don't know any of the people watching this individually, so I can't judge them, and I also don't want to. But at the same time, it's like, I just want people to think, I just want people to listen and just decide maybe there is something to this. Maybe there's some merit to this piece of media being presented to me that people worked hard on and that people haven't shut up. Maybe there is something to all those people that haven't shut up about this topic for years. Maybe there's something to that. Maybe they're not just all making that up. Maybe they're not blowing it out of proportion. Maybe it's real. And maybe I'm coming off as an asshole by pretending it's not. Maybe. Just maybe. You know what thinking is? It's just a fancy word for changing your mind. And if you decide not to, you'll die stupid. Dude, like, this is the episode where I just die live on, well, it's not a stream, but, like, I just die live on camera because this episode just decided to drop a bomb on me. The guy who has to talk about this shit for like 40 minutes to an hour every time. But the problem is that I also have stuff to say. I also have stuff to say about it, which I have, I think. I don't know what else I can say about it other than, like, the episode was amazing. I already said that. It's probably one of the best ones we've had in, like, it's just great. I'm gonna remember this one. I think it's a really good piece of media just in general. Like, I feel like I can just recommend this to someone if they are really into, like, dramas and, like, feeling things. It's like, yes, watch this. This is pretty good. You know, it has some weird alien sci-fi bullshit in it, but don't worry, it's good. And I enjoy that. But, like, episode was great. Acting, writing, you know. Okay, so it's only the third episode. It's difficult to remember that, but it's only the third episode with this. But, like, Jodie, great. Like, the gang is growing on me, by the way. Jodie, Graham, Ryan, yes. They're all growing on me. My only concern is actually Yas, because I feel like Yas doesn't get as much screen time as he probably should. Like, I'm scared for Yas to not actually matter that much. That's my concern. But I do like Yas a lot, and I want her to have more things. Ryan got a little bit more screen time here. I feel like Ryan gets the most screen time, and then there's Graham, and then there's Yas, you know? And even with Graham and Ryan, we have this thing where, like, they don't get along with each other, even though they kind of do, but not really. You know, like they do up until Graham acknowledges that they are getting along, and then Ryan becomes a tsundere, and he's like, "No, fuck you, grandpa." Speaking of grandma, they bring grandma back like every episode. Like every episode, they talk about her, and I like that. I like that they bring Grace into a conversation every time, because I enjoy Grace. Like Grace was awesome. So the fact that she becomes this like symbol that it continues to exist across the episodes. It's like, yeah, I like that. You know, like what would Grace do if she was here? And then it's like, well, lucky she's not, because she would start a riot. And it's like, yes, she would. That's why I loved her. You know. Man, this is a bittersweet episode. That's it. That's the word. It's very meaningful. It's powerful. I actually really love it. It's just a really solid piece of media, I guess. And like, of course, it's not realistic display of what actually happened, but it's not meaning to be. It's meaning to be Doctor Who, but also we're showing you this historical moment, a very meaningful historical moment, because I feel like we, as humanity, needed a reminder. I'm gonna say that. I feel like we needed a reminder of that shit. Yeah. It's difficult out there. Take care, y'all. That's it. Okay. Yeah, I think I'm done with this episode. Yeah, good. Alright everyone, thank you so much for watching this reaction to a Doctor Who episode. It was something. If you would like to see next one, it's already up on Patreon as well as full length of this and everything else. Check out the links in the description, and I'll see you next time, okay? Take care. Really.